A 35-year-old woman was arrested on Tuesday afternoon at the Nigel Home Affairs office for allegedly issuing over 300 fraudulent birth certificates. The woman,
and therefore they won't be issued with printed birth certificates.
So this woman that works at the Home Office in South Africa was caught selling birth certificates to illegal foreigners. Guys, it is not one, two, more than hundreds of birth certificates. I will allow you guys watch the videos.
A 35-year-old woman was arrested on Tuesday afternoon at the Nigel Home Affairs office for allegedly issuing over 300 fraudulent birth certificates. The woman, who has worked for Home Affairs for 11 years, has been under investigation since January last year. Officials say she got wind of the investigation against her and tried to resign from her position, but was thwarted by police. The woman was led out of her office with her hands tied behind her back as her shocked colleagues looked on.
That's why I'm here. I'm guiding you guys. I'm guiding.
At her double-story Germiston home, officers found numerous documents that she was unable to explain.
There are people who are within our system who are abusing the trust that's bestowed upon them by the South African government and the South African people. The Department of Home Affairs holds a very strategic place in national security. So those who are forsaking that national security for their own benefit are a great risk to us. We want the harshest penalty given to people who undertake corruption and abuse the trust that the department has bestowed upon them.
Officials say all the documents processed by the official will be blocked and removed from the population register. The woman will appear in court soon.
Yes, foreign children born in South Africa can become South African citizens. You see, under Section 2.3 of South African Citizenship Act, Act 88 of 1995, as amended in 2010, a person born in the beautiful land of Azania to parents who are foreign nationals, i.e. not citizens, i.e. Makwerekwere, i.e. Bahambi, not permanent residents, can qualify for citizenship by birth when they turn 18. So you need to get your child the unabridged birth certificate, the one I'm talking about, so that you can apply for your child to be a citizen of this beautiful land of South Africa. And all you need are these documents. You need the proof of birth, that's what you need, and then you need your clinic card. You also need your passport. Do not be afraid to go to Home Affairs. Do it by the book. You don't have to break the law. You just need to apply.
To foreign national parents do not automatically become citizens. That's the ruling of the Polokwane High Court. It dismissed an application by Zimbabwean parents who wanted their children issued with South African birth certificates. If you're born in a country, you automatically become a citizen of that country by virtue of birth. But clearly this is not the case.
It's certainly not the case in South Africa. Before the 1st of January 2013, if a person was born in South Africa of a single permanent resident parent, that person was born a South African citizen. After the 1st of January 2013, in order for a person born in South Africa immediately to be born a South African citizen, at least one parent must be a South African citizen. In fact, if a person is born anywhere in the world, South Africa, Kenya, Russia, United States, and one parent was a South African citizen at the time of that person's birth, that person would have been born a South African citizen. If one parent was a citizen at the time of the birth and is not subject to a birth registration, in law that person would be a South African citizen. Polokwane case that you have referenced dealt with a person born in South Africa, a minor child, born of a parent who was neither a South African citizen nor permanent resident, and therefore the person was not born a South African citizen. Citizenship is a creature of statute, and if the statute does not enable the person to tick all the boxes for citizenship, for a qualification for citizenship, the person is not a South African citizen or doesn't qualify for citizenship. And that's what happened here.
United States, if you're born in the United States, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. You will become an American citizen.
Officials say all the documents processed by the official will be blocked and removed from the population register. The woman will appear in court soon.
United States, if you're born in the United States, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. You will become an American citizen.
That's quite right. There are few countries like that where you are born on that country's soil. Just because of that and nothing else, you're born a South African citizen. But citizenship is becoming more restrictive in various parts of the world, including South Africa. As time passes, our laws are becoming stricter and stricter regarding citizenship. In fact, South Africa's white paper on international migration, adopted by the Zuma cabinet in 2017, suggested that people should never graduate to citizenship by naturalization, even though they might have held permanent residence for the last 50 years. And that might be coming. That might become law in this country. It's always been the case that if a permanent resident of South Africa has resided in South Africa continuously for at least 5 years, that person would qualify for citizenship thereafter. And this government wants to change that and sever a permanent resident's right to qualify for permanent residence. So as time moves on, South Africa, and that's the country of our focus this morning, citizenship is certainly becoming more of a restricted species.
Let's focus, Gary, on this particular case. In this instance, the gentleman was in South Africa, from my understanding, on a work permit. His partner was here on a visitor's permit. They then have given birth to their 3 children in South Africa. But what the court said here is that they failed to establish the ground for citizenship in terms of either birth or naturalization. Explain that to us. The birth part you have. Talk to us about the naturalization.
Yes. So, as I said just now, a person born in South Africa and neither of their parents are permanent residents or citizens, just like in the Polokwane case you've referenced, are not born South African citizens. And therefore, they won't be issued with printed birth certificates. Printed birth certificates are certificates printed with information held by South Africa's so-called population register, administered by the Director General in terms of the Identification Act. And it is only information of citizens or permanent residents that's uploaded into the population register. And that explains why persons born in South Africa who are not born citizens do not get printed birth certificates. They get printed.
So Gary, in this instance, Gary, what do they get? Because a child has been born, they've got to be noted in one way or another. What does the hospital give to the parents?
Well, they certainly, their births are noted. That information is kept on a birth register, but that information is not kept in South Africa's population register. So they are given handwritten birth certificates, not printed birth certificates. And in this particular case, as far as I understand, the parents wanted printed birth certificates. Printed birth certificates are only issued to South African citizens or permanent residents, and therefore these children were neither. So they didn't qualify for South African citizenship by birth because they were not born of parents who were citizens or permanent citizens at the time of their birth.
Very clearly explained to us. Thank you so much. That's immigration expert Gary Eisenberg. So literally with these unabridged certificates, they have to then go back home to Zimbabwe and actually have the children registered in Zimbabwe.
So guys, you've heard all the explanations. So if you are born in South Africa by foreign parents and both of your parents are not South African citizens or not having any residence permit, that means you cannot be a South African citizen just by birth, except one of your parents is a South African or one of your parents has a permanent or a residence permit. That is when it's going to work. So guys, it's similar to what they do here in Germany. In Germany, you don't become automatic, citizen just by birth. Either one of your parents has to be a citizen or has a residence permit. So this applies in many countries, not just South Africa. Other countries also do similar thing. It's nothing new. So I don't know why this lady went ahead to be selling, birth certificate, because the man also went ahead to explain that if you are born by, both parents being a foreigner, you don't get the printed birth certificate. You get a handwritten birth certificate. which I don't really know the much difference to how they both work, because it's something that I'm not used to. Maybe I have to research about that, or if you guys know much about that, you can drop in the comment section. So meaning, it seems this woman was selling the printable birth certificate to this illegal immigrant. I don't know if she was selling the handwritten one or the printable. They didn't specify. But nevertheless, children who are born by foreigners who the parents are not, citizens of South Africa, they have to get handwritten birth certificates. And the guy who also explains says that when those children turn 18, they can apply for citizenship. Well, I also watched another video which says that is not a clear path, because it's not really easy. It takes a lot of work. She said it's not just easy that when you turn 18, you just march into the Home Affairs office and say, okay, even though my parents are not, citizens, or they don't have residence permit, I have lived here for 18 years. I am stateless. I don't have any passport. I've been in South Africa all my life, and I'm eligible for citizenship. You can apply, you can try, but it takes a lot of work. It's not as easy as the guy was explaining it. But for this lady to go as far as selling almost 300 and something birth certificate, that tells you how much money she has, taken from people, like how she has cheated the system. Guys, it's just a lot. And now they are saying those certificates will be retrieved, they'll be removed from the system. Just imagine those people. Oh my God. Like, why even do that at the first place? I don't even want to pity God. It's just a lot. I don't want to talk much, but I feel like the lady should really, really, really face the law, because that's not something that should be allowed to just, be swept under the carpet. If not, more people will be doing this. Just look at the house she's living in. I'm sure she got it with all the money she has, acquired from this business venture of hers. Guys, this is just so sad. It's just so sad. Anyway, drop in the comment section what you think about this, and if you understand the law very well and how this really works in South Africa, maybe you can explain in the comment section and give us more insight to how all this is being done. Thank you very much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.